Get him to die, boys.
Oh, that would be a tribute. Onward.
Radiant's courier has been
The
killed.
heavens seem closer now.
Before my time.
Yes.
Alright. That's mid done. So we talked about, I'm fine with the starting items this game. I would go more stats. I would even copy this. Or no, don't go tangos. This is dog shit. You go like double
null tallies.
double mantle, sorry, yeah. And then branches. You can go fairy fire, so you can have even more damage. Because what I see in this matchup, right, is look at his damage. Ready? You have 64, 55, right?
Mhm.
No talisman gives you 5 damage. But if you had, it's 2 mantles, which is 6 damage, plus a circlet, 8 damage, plus 1
Ultimately,
branch.
it's more stats.
Yeah, it's more damage, right? Because you have 5 added here, so you would have 59 of base, but with all those items, you'd have what, 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 1 more is 9. You'd have 11 extra damage, so you'd have 70 damage versus 55. He should not get a single last hit. You have a quelling blade above him, and it works while you're denying. That's how you should think about it. If you went full damage, right?
Yeah.
And then your Q would just be like an insurance policy to be like, okay, I'll never miss a CS. Right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so he like, if you potentially abuse creep aggro, you could just deny every creep, and he'll have. And what that creates is you will force him to use spells. That was what I was gonna get to when we talk about under the tower. Where, all right, so we'll start the game. Is there a reason you don't block? Is it just because you are gonna push the wave anyways, or?
I've kind of gotten into the habit of, so I just grab the rune and I still
Block
get
a
over
little.
to the block. Yeah, I block a little. Ooh, the stream just plugged out for a sec.
Is it? Do you want me to restart it?
Did you pause? Are you paused right
Yeah,
now?
I just paused it at 21
Yeah,
seconds, and we're just about to hit mid.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I'll
here.
just slow it down while we talk about.
So when I just understanding my bracket right now. Usually, I don't know. People have delegated the. I understand that like the 4 pops would usually grab unless they're contesting for rune.
Okay.
Just getting the bounty runes.
Mhm.
So I usually just opt to grab the bounty rune and then run over and get the block off because usually I beat them in the block. Just
because you're better at clicking. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed there. I would have definitely made that if I had a fairy fire.
That's okay, and you would have, exactly. That's what we want to think about. How many times did you miss creeps? Is another thing to think about. But oh, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say I do have the muscle memory of just playing Zeus though. Just understanding like right there, I understand that the creep's gonna hit, and so I get that. I also go for this to secure the last hit on the range creep. Sometimes I like to opt to push the wave and shove the wave and go hit the small camp. Obviously, I can't do that right now. Which is why I kind of do a little bit more of a aggressive Q to just push the wave. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So I agree with that. If what you want to go into the game thinking is, if I'm gonna push this, so what I would say is, if you have a worse lane matchup, your job should be to push the lane out ASAP. So what some worse lane matchups we can think about? Lone Druid. I think you get crushed by Lone Druid if he's good because he'll just zone you with the bear, right?
Yeah.
Viper. You don't want to be on that lane against Viper. Quap. It's okay. Quaps can be either way if you're good at creep aggro, but in general, you don't want to stagger the wave against. Sorry, you want to stagger the wave. You don't want it to just static against Quap, against Viper, Lone Druid, Clinks. I know Silencer's getting popular. All those heroes that just hit you, right? And you don't trade better than them. So then thinking about that, who's stronger between the two of you? Well, yeah, I'll just ask you that. Who do you think has a better level 1?
Level 1, I think that I'm stronger because my Q, since Leshrak's similar to Zeus in the sense that he's position based, but also he's high armor, high movement speed, but low health. Like Zeus is high health, or low health, high speed. So we're both very similar in that sense. But since I can Q him, I have that advantage over him in the sense that I have magic damage, which he can't really block early on into the game. And if he buys an infused raindrop, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, so let's think about it. His Q does 120 damage on a 9-second cooldown. Also, he has the same armor as you and less damage, by the way, and less HP.
Yeah.
Which, if you bought more stats, you'd have even more HP. He only has 600. But you'd have even more damage. You have the same armor. Your spell does 75% of the damage his spell does, but your spell is on an 80% shorter cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
So there's absolutely no way this guy should. Basically, like, you did a really good job because he's bad, and you are better at 50-50ing it, is what we call it, where you're just going to throw your auto, and he's going to throw his auto, and you guys are just going to pray to God that one of you gets it. And you did a
Yeah.
better job at that. But what I want to see, especially if you want to crawl out of this bracket, you'll see you want to be abusing the creep wave. You want him to be having to run into the river in order to play into you, where then you can hit him. First wave's going to meet. Here's what I want you to know. He does not have a ward that can see your high ground. First of all, you could check his inventory and know that. That's how I knew it. But watch. The creeps don't aggro. Why did they not aggro? Because they can't see you. There you go. That's how you know.
Yeah.
So look, when you walked up that high ground, they couldn't see you.
Yeah.
So they didn't draw aggro. That's how you know. Okay? But it's because you're Zeus, right? He's scared that you're just going to kill his ward. All right. So, really good. Let's think about this first wave, right? We 50-50. We get it, okay?
Yeah.
We get this one. Now we draw aggro. Why? You want to draw aggro here, which you're not. You say it's fine, right? Because you can get these. Your auto's going to hit before his does, right?
Yeah.
So you're fine with this. And I'm fine with this if that's all we're considering. But what you also should consider is how can I fuck up this Leshrax game? And the way you fuck up this Leshrax game is by pulling the creeps closer towards you. So that he has to come in the river down here in order to last hit these.
Okay.
So you're not doing it, so I can't really show you what happened, but you would want to pull them back here so that in order for him to deny and last it, he has to either stay back and use his spells or sit. See how he's in the river right now?
Yeah.
That's what you want. So now what you should do, he goes in the river. Who's stronger in this lane? We already talked about it.
I am.
Okay, so you're the Queen of Pain. Think about it like this. You're Viper, you're Queen of Pain, you're Clinks. You should be
Okay.
positioning, and when he comes down, you don't want to position when he's on the high ground, but you know he's going to come down for this creep, right? And you
Yeah.
deny it. Great job. He comes down, you should be here, hitting him, right? Hold
Yeah,
him
punishing
hostage.
for
Hold him
getting-
hostage for these creeps, right?
Yeah.
He wants this. So do you. But who can secure it instantly with a spell?
Me.
Okay, and he will show you that he's using his spell, and in that time, you can just be hitting his ass. Pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop. You know what I mean? 2 autos in. Look, he has higher health than you do right now. Right? But you're the stronger
Yeah.
one. And that's really small, and that's like something that'll like carry you a long way. If you can dominate the lane every game, you'll win like 90% of your games.
I think that's like this is very nice to hear
Uh-huh.
because I actually did feel like I did do well. Like I feel like I did well denying or at least getting some denies.
Oh, you
compared
did
to-
a great job. You crushed this kid.
Yeah. But like that just goes to show there's always something you can look into, right? Like
Yeah.
here I am. You can see usually by the second wave I start to kind of assert dominance. This is when I'm going to start throwing more cues to try and shove the wave.
Right, and that's
Um,
smart. Because then you can pressure some more too.
hmm
So you're doing a great job. He's scared of you. He doesn't want to walk in the river.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be able to. His damage is so low. If he wants a single creep in this game, he should have to use a spell for it. And
Yeah.
you're doing a great job of that. You've denied all of his creeps but 1 as at this point. Alright? Actually, except 3, but it doesn't matter. I'm retarded. Alright, so right now, this is the first thing I saw. You ran back. Right? I'm fine
Yeah.
with letting this creep go. He can die. That's okay. But this range creep should be dead if it be denied. So watch. 1.
Can we time
could-
out real quick?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'll be right back.
You're good. You're good. It's burrito time. All right. So for everyone watching, let's talk about this. This creep, denying range creeps when the enemy's under tower is so easy, and I can't guarantee that he would have got the deny, but I can guarantee you that Leshrac would have shit himself, and that's the goal. It's not the denies. It's winning the game, right? It's tilting the enemy. Okay. So right now, this creep's dying. You see it? 1. It drops below half. Right now, you throw your auto. And you ask me why, right? Like, why do you throw it now? You're not going to get the deny if you throw it right now. Because imagine Zeus was standing right here, okay? If you throw it right now, look, you would have got the deny, first of all. But we're going to call it a pseudo deny, okay? The tactic is you just want to fuck with his CS, so there's no way in hell this Leshrac gets the last hit unless Leshrac uses his spells. Leshrac is not going to use his spells, which is Leshrac's mistake, but Leshrac feels safe because Zeus isn't here. If you just hit it right when the tower is going to hit it, there's no way the enemy hero gets the CS. So we call it a pseudo deny in quotes, right? Because it's not actually denying the creep, but he's not getting the last hit. The only mistake Zeus has right here is Zeus should be in the aggressive position. Zeus is stronger, right? Leshrac doesn't want the smoke. So Zeus shouldn't be back here like a little pussy bitch. Zeus should be up here, right? Now, what would enable him to be up there? The answer is more regen, right? He has a tango, but if he bought a salve right when the creeps waves meet, right after he has his bounty rune gold, and Leshrac doesn't have a salve, right? We're basically playing with a free regen rune. Think about it like that. Zeus can walk up on Leshrac with absolutely no fear of punishment because any trade they take will be in Zeus's favor because Zeus will pop the salve afterward. Separate the waves. Play like a Queen of Pain or a Viper that just wants to fuck on this guy and not let him lane. Right? It's because how strong you are is not only determined by how well you CS, but it's in comparison to the enemy heroes. So if you can do anything to stop the enemies while also securing your self farm, that's a total win. Also, right here you want to think about when you're trying to set up a situation where Zeus can dominate the lane. How does Zeus dominate the lane? He holds the lane back and he spams his Q and auto attacks when Leshrac has to walk up. So, while you're eating, do you want me to just talk?
Oh yeah, that works.
Okay, cool.
I'll
So,
make sure I'm not talking with my mouth full too.
yeah, you're fine. Do whatever you want. I don't mind. Okay, so one thing we talked about that I talked about on the thing is you should buy a salve. And it's kind of a like salves are like a point of contention the lower MMR you go because you think, oh, well, I'm not even getting hit. Why should I buy a salve? And that's probably what you're thinking. There's no way I pop a salve. And my answer to you is it's because you're playing because you don't have a salve. You're playing like you don't have a salve, which is the right way to play when you don't have one. Right here, you see this scenario? You pulled the wave, he pulled the wave, okay? Your brain says, I'm going to play back here and secure these creeps, right? My brain says, you walk up right here and zone Leshrac off of these creeps. You walk in the wave, you stand on his high ground, just hitting him if he walks up and using your Q. Get his ass out of here. All right. So, and the reason why you can't do that is because you don't have a salve. But think about this. Leshrac doesn't have a salve, right? If you walked up on this high ground and just started hitting him, any trade you take is a positive trade for you because you have a regen rune in your back pocket. He doesn't have shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you.
So you could walk up and literally you could take all your HP and damage and get him to low HP, but you don't care because you're going to walk back and buy a salve. And then for an entire creep wave, the next one, Leshrac can't even walk up because he's not going to have a salve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's going to be sitting there with his shitty ass tangos trying to regen from 100 HP, and you're just going to be free farming even more than you already are. And what I said is you want to think about your strength relative to the enemy team. There's a way that I just showed you that you can farm these creeps because they're not going to die any faster if you stand here or stand here. Does that make sense? They're dying at the same rate. And you could just turn around and press your arc lightning as soon as they're about to die, right? Like a snap second. So it doesn't matter to you. Because your farm is only strong in comparison to his. So think about if you got those 2 CS and then you forced him to not only expend health, also mana, because he'd probably have to use his spells either on you or on the creeps to get the last hit, you'd be in a way better position than he is in this lane. And your lead would snowball even harder than it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Cool. So sorry.
It's just like a complete thought of just another way to dominate the lane, or even more so, just establish my presence. And like, I'm already doing pretty decently in this lane so far. But
great job.
But yeah, you're exactly right. I think if I did that, this Leshrac game is
ruined,
definitely hindered.
So you're doing a great job CSing. So we don't need to
Yeah.
work on your mechanics, right? But now we need to implement those mechanics. Because imagine, when you play against a Smurf in mid, they're up in your face, right? They deny all your creeps.
Yeah.
They're being annoying. That's because that's the good play. That's the right play. They're dominating you. And
Yeah.
you could be dominating this Leshrac. It's like you're smurfing. He's so much worse than you. So right here, this is what I want to talk about next. You deny this creep, you should hold the wave on your high ground. Don't bring it under tower. And the reason why is because Leshrac already brought it under his tower, right? So you know the next wave is going to meet on your high ground because you are holding the wave right here. So you shouldn't hit this, and then you should just walk in circles where my pings are.
I didn't really use my regen at all because I mean, the
Exactly.
Lash wasn't harassing me, so like the tangos, I'm pretty sure I keep one tango for like a while, and then like I take like 50 damage or something, and I just pop the one of the tangos for efficiency while I'm taking a creep camp or something.
And that makes sense. So again, you could put a use to those tangos, right? You could
Yeah.
have made a use by just eating a tango. Maybe this is what you do. You drag the creep over here, eat the tango, and then walk back. And then by the time you walk back, they'll meet again.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You could position in a way to kind of get right here. You get this last hit, and now look. If he goes aggressive on you, 2 creeps are about to die on his side, right? If
Yeah.
he wants to man up on you, he's gonna have 3 creeps hitting him real quick, right? So you could be on this high ground right now doing the same thing you're doing right now, hitting him. Because if he
Instead, I'm
stands
just
there and
trying to
hits you, he's going to lose the trade because look, you have this much more HP, you have 70 damage, he has 57, right? And you have 3 creeps running up on him. So
and
he would
might just miss lastids too.
Yeah. So like you don't want to dive this right now, which makes total sense. But you could be hitting him the whole time, forcing him to back up here.
Yeah.
And then you do a great job denying it. That's why you want to contest every single wave under tower. It's a free range creep deny. So it shows you have a really good understanding of your last hitting, right?
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is put yourself in his head and then fuck up everything he wants to do. Because if you like you figured out how to last hit, so you just think about, well, if I was him, what would I want? And then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get in his face and prevent that. That's the only thing I'm not gonna let him do, or I'm gonna try my best to let him do. So right here, this is the perfect creep wave position. He can't even walk up. Look, he's scared like a bitch, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is you stand over here, or you walk right here, and you say, Lesh, come here, buddy.
Body to
Yeah.
zone him out.
What are you gonna do? Trade with me? That's fine. You have 300 HP. I have 700. Let's see who dies first. Right? Like let's have a race. That's
like
what you
with
ask.
the
That's what you
mango
put him
too,
in that.
like,
Yeah.
I'm really strong.
You put him in that position. Let's have a race. See what happens. Okay? Because now he still didn't buy a salve. So right now he could be at 100 HP and he would have to stand like in the trees over here because he's so low. Because he's bad and he's not going to buy a salve. Because you have level 3 arc lightning, you could probably get a faster gold lead by just jungling for yourself instead of playing for punishing the Leshrac. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So right now it's kind of the point when you're like, okay, I don't really care about pressuring you anymore. Like maybe you do a little bit because Axe took your small camp.
Yeah.
But generally you would just stack and hit this, which I think you already know.
In a normal game, I would usually be cycling between the medium camp up above as well as these not that one, that one too, I guess.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, you push it under his tower, you should go to his small camp. Look.
Yeah, I see. And
you could just farm that. Yeah. Because what do you position yourself for? What's coming? Look at the clock.
Bounties.
Okay.
Bounties, yeah.
So what do you force from him? What does he have to choose? Watch this. Ready? What does he have to choose?
Destiny or the wave.
Yeah. So look, 1, 2. Right now he has to go this way if you're over here, or else you're gonna beat him to the bounty rune. Are you not?
Yeah. I decided to be aggressive, shove wave.
So like right now, I would go for his bounty rune. You shove the 4 creep wave into him. He has to come get this bounty rune. Alright boys, thanks for watching that video. That was only part 1, right? We talked for like 2 hours. It was awesome, okay? We learned so much. So I'm going to be posting the next part in a few days. But in the meantime, if you want coaching, go ahead and DM me on Discord or DM me on Twitter, and we'll set up a time. You get a shit ton of content. We just talk until you learn something. Alright, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to see more of. Make sure you join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I'll see you guys later.